Hey guys, Pro1701, and today we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite Doctor Who companions. My personal favorite from classic and modern Who. The TV show, so there won't be any Big Finish companions in here. First, a few honorable mentions I did want to mention because I still think they're good companions, they just didn't quite make the list. Graham, I like Graham, one of the current companions, I really enjoy him. Martha, I really enjoy Martha a lot. She has a lot of strong character and good character development in her run with the Doctor. Captain Jack, of course. You can never get too much Captain Jack. So I definitely want to give him a shout out. Nyssa and Tegan, I kind of include those together. They seem like they go together. I don't love them, but I do like them. And then Ben and Polly. I do enjoy Ben and Polly a lot. And I do put them together. They came together, they arrived in the same story together, they left in the same story together, so I always think of Ben and Polly as a pair. So I want to give them a shout out as well. Moving on to the list, at number 10 I have Romana. And I do want to specify Romana 1, the first Romana, because I do prefer Mary Tamm's Romana. I never really cared for Lala's Romanas once. She's my least favorite of Tom's companions. But I love the first Romana from season 16, The Key to Time. I think Mary Tamm just does a lot with the role. Now, the role does kind of disintegrate into the screaming damsel in distress type, which is a little disappointing since she is a Time Lord, but she's also inexperienced. So some of that is just inexperience and being naive. So I get some of it. I feel like she doesn't ever quite live up to her potential, but Mary Tamm does her best with what she has to work with, and I do like her as an actress. Especially towards the first couple stories. I don't like some stories like Androids of Tara where she just keeps getting kidnapped. That's a little annoying. But again, that's not Mary's fault. And I suspect the scripts were one of the reasons why she only did one season before she left. But with what she had, I think she did a good job. Number nine, I have Jo Grant. I like Jo a lot. She is the quintessential Third Doctor companion, because while the Third Doctor had 3 companions, this is kind of the one I think people think of first when they think of Jon Pertwee. You think of Jo, because she did 3 seasons, and that's a lot for a companion to do. And she's a lot of fun. She's a bit, she's kind of the ditzy, not too bright one that it takes the Third Doctor a little bit to warm to. But it's nice to see their relationship grow over those 3 seasons to the point to where when she does leave, it's very sad. I think it's one of the saddest companion departures. And the fact it's done with almost no words, right at the end, with him just walking off in silence to his car and the look on his face. John says a lot in that scene, and so does Katie, actually. Without there really being words, their faces kind of say it all. So I do enjoy her a lot. She's a really good companion. And one of the 3 companions, I have 3 companions I'd love to see come back in the modern series. She is one of those 3 that I would love to see her pop back, because I just love Katie Manning. I love Katie Manning. She's so great. Number 8 is Leela. I like Leela a lot. It's modern Who has this bad habit of all the companions being from modern day Earth, and that's kind of become an old hat at this point. I love the classic series actually had companions from other planets, other time periods, etc., etc. And Leela was like that. She's a bit of a savage because she's from a planet where the people on it are descendants of humans from a space colony or a spaceship. But the side she was on kind of descended into savagery. So she's very savage, very uneducated, and seeing the Doctor kind of take her under his wing to kind of, in an attempt to educate her and kind of show her the universe, is really nice. I just love her propensity for stabbing people or using those Janus thorns to kill people without thought if she thinks she needs to. She's a different type of companion. And I really think that, oh wow, and my mind just, Louise does a great job with her playing that character. And she's just always fun to watch. Plus, she was there at a good time in Doctor Who. Season 14 is such a good season. And season 15 is hit or miss, but she's still great in it. And she has some good stories. So yeah, I like Leela a lot. I sometimes think she's a bit underrated. Number 7, I have Zoe. I like Zoe, companion for the 2nd Doctor, who comes on in Wheel in Space and stays till the end of the War Games. I like companions that are intelligent. Maybe not as intelligent on the Doctor's level, but more on the Doctor's level than the average companion. I love the fact that Zoe's very smart, because she's from the future. So, a lot of stuff to us that would seem like genius is probably more common to that time period. But she's a sharp tack. And it's a great counterbalance to Jamie, who, being from the 1700s, I believe, isn't nearly as educated, especially by today's standards. He's much more primitive. And it's kind of neat, especially in the 60s, where of the companions, the woman is the very intelligent one, and the male is the more primitive one. I really like that counterbalance, especially for the time. And I love how Zoe and the second Doctor, I love how the second Doctor gets along with all his companions. He has a very sincere and strong compassion for them. And I love how he gets along with Zoe, especially in the Crotons, when he's sitting down with the machine. And he's like, go away, no wait, what's this do? No, come back, no, I got it. That whole scene, she's over there, press the button. That whole scene is wonderful. Probably a couple months ago, she wouldn't have been nearly as high on this list, but I've been watching her more recently, and she's really, really grown on me. Plus, she's quite pleasing on the eyes. And number 6, because I have to put him on there, even though he doesn't really travel into TARDIS much, is the Brigadier, Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart. Now, I considered not putting him on here because he doesn't really travel with the Doctor in the traditional sense, but he's such an important part of Doctor Who and such an important friend to the Doctor and companion to the Doctor, even if they don't travel together, that he deserves a spot on this list. And Nicholas Courtney is so good in this role, and he's in so many stories. He's such an iconic part of the show's history. And he's interacted with so many versions of the Doctor. Just in the show, he had episodes with the second Doctor, the third Doctor, the fourth Doctor, the fifth Doctor, and the seventh Doctor. And if you can count dimensions and time, the sixth Doctor. And that's not even, and even the 12th Doctor when he appears as a Cyberman. And that's not even counting, the other stuff like Big Finish or comic books or novels where he's interacted with other incarnations of the Doctor. So he's such a huge part of the Doctor's life. So much so that when Nicholas Courtney passed away, they did a little nod to him in the modern series when Matt Smith found out the Brigadier had passed away. And then they introduced his daughter into the series. I feel like you can't do a top 10 companion list without having the Brigadier on it. And because Nicholas Courtney was just so good in this role. And I always enjoy the Brig. He is a good one. So moving into the top 5, at number 5 I have Ace. I absolutely love Ace. Her and Seven are one of the best TARDIS teams. Her and Seven go really well together, especially that darker side of Seven that we see kind of come out in season 25 and 26 fits Ace perfectly. I think Ace really is the template for the modern companion. Because not only is she kind of from contemporary time, even though we don't meet her first story she actually ends up in the future, but we find out later. We actually do find out in that story she's from more modern time, but she actually has a very fleshed out background. She has more character development, I think, than probably any companion in classic Who. Definitely on par with companions in modern Who. And there's actually several stories, even in the final season, her third season, where she's still getting character development in stories like Ghostlight and Curse of Fenric. And even Survival, the final story, she's still getting the final 3 stories, she still has strong character development in every single one of them. Learning about her backstory, learning why she feels the way she does about her mother, etc., etc. And she plays a huge pivotal part in all of those stories. And then she gets to beat up a Dalek with a baseball bat. That's fantastic. Ace very much is not the scream and fright and run away damsel in distress type that some of the classic Who female companions were. She's a fighter. When it comes to fight or flight, she fights. Ace is a fighter. You show her a threat, she's going to try to take it out. She's got a dangerous bat. She's got her lithium 90, whatever, her nitro bombs. She has her bombs, her nitro bomb. I can't remember what they're called. But, she blows stuff up. Ace is a fighter, and I like her. She's the closest the classic series has to a modern companion. And she's also one of the 3 companions that I would love to see come back in the modern series. I really, really want that. Moving up to number 4, I have Liz Shaw. I really like Liz a lot. I know most people probably prefer Joe to Liz, but I really like Liz. She was the third Doctor's first companion, and she was only there for a season. She's there in season 7 in 4 stories. But again, like with Zoe, I like a companion that's intelligent, that's more on the Doctor's level. Again, not on the Doctor's level, but she's more on the Doctor's level than the average companion. She's a scientist, so, he can say things to her, and she'll know what he's talking about, or she can talk intelligently to him. He doesn't have to dumb down his speech for her. And I think Carolyn does a great job portraying her. I enjoy her in all of her stories. And I especially like Inferno when she's playing 2 versions of herself. Her normal self and then the more militant version of her that's in the alternate universe in Inferno. Because even that more militant version has some sense. Because she is the one that actually seems to believe what he's telling her. Or one of the only couple people who actually is like, okay, you're starting to make sense. I like Liz. I would have liked to have seen another season with her, because season 7 is a great season, and I think she's one of the reasons it's so good. Let's see, number 3 is Donna. I love Donna. Her and Tin bounce off each other so well, and I would love for Donna to come back, except for with the way her character had to exit the show, it'd be hard to do since she can't actually remember, and I think that's very sad that her memories were taken away because she had so much character growth. She really grew as a person. Her time with Tin really made her a better person, and I hate that she kind of lost all of that, even if, she kind of saved the universe doing it, which is pretty awesome. But I love Donna. She has that snarky, sarcastic wit that I enjoy, that I also have myself. And I like the fact she wouldn't put up with crap from him, Dr. Time Lord, no. Or, Human Donna, yeah. That little sass they have. Or even when the hybrid Doctor shows up toward the end, and when he first appears, him and Donna are kind of sassing each other right there. You're naked. Oh, yes. That little bit of sass they have there together is really, really funny. So I love Donna. She's my favorite modern series companion, and I wish there was a way we could get her back without breaking the canon. And I'm sure there's a way to do it if they really wanted to, because Catherine Tate's amazing. Number 2 on my list is Jamie. I love Jamie. Again, a year or 2 ago, he probably wouldn't have been as high on this list, but I've been watching more of Troughton, and I love Jamie. The relationship between the second Doctor and Jamie is such a strong one. They are so close together. You can tell that Patrick and Frasier really did get on well in real life, which, if you do any research, you do find out they were good friends, and they really got on well, and it shows. I enjoy watching any story with those two in it. They complement each other so well, and I think 2 of the saddest words in the English language are goodbye, Jamie. Well, Doctor, can't we? Goodbye, Jamie. That goodbye, Jamie is so sad, and that little wave he does to Zoe and Jamie when they're leaving, it's so sad at the end of the War Games. Such a beautiful moment and sad moment at the same time. I really enjoy Jamie, and he's the other companion that I really want to see come back in the modern series. I'd love to see, like, Whittaker somehow end up in Scotland when Jamie's an old man. And of course, Jamie also lost most of his memories of the Doctor. He only remembers their first adventure together. And again, that's so sad because he only remembers kind of the Doctor as this person he met once. He doesn't realize that kind of grew, that kind of became his best friend. And, he doesn't even get to remember Victoria. And I think we all know he loved Victoria. So, I would love an episode in Modern Who where he kind of comes back in 13, ends up visiting him. And he gets his memories back. Maybe she does that little thing where she bumps his head to his head. Be a great excuse to show off him some classic footage with 2 and Jamie, to throw that in there and let him get his memories back, especially of Victoria. Jamie, I love Jamie and the second Doctor. I can't put into words how much I love him. And then number 1, my Sarah Jane Smith. I love Sarah Jane Smith. And again, the dynamic, she's great with the third Doctor, but the dynamic with her and the fourth Doctor, I think that's the best TARDIS team ever. They have such a good relationship. You know, any story with them, I mean, it's good for a multitude of reasons. That's just the best Doctor Who's ever been, is those 3 seasons. But they make those stories better, too. The Fourth Doctor and Sarah are so good together. And you can just tell that they have such an affection for each other. And that they care about each other so much. And again, her farewell at the end of Hand of Fear is so sad, the way it's played out. It's really, really touching. I love that scene's beautiful. And she's such a powerful, there's a powerful companion. And she had, there's a reason why she was brought back in the modern series, why she is the classic companion they picked to bring back. And she's so good even in School Reunion. Even if you've never seen the classic series, you can watch School Reunion and get the relationship that these two had and how much they meant to each other and how much they still mean to each other. Just from the way the acting is done, because David Tennant and Liz Sladen do such a wonderful job with these characters, that you get that these two were very important to each other, and the caring and love that they share, you can sense that. So it was great to see her come back. And the fact that Sarah Jane gets along with so many of the Doctors, the 3rd, the 4th, the 10th, the 11th, she clicks with these Doctors, all of them, so well that and there's a reason why she got her own show that ran all the way up until Elizabeth Sladen passed, is because she's just such a strong, well-written character, and she's acted so well by the late Elizabeth Sladen. Nobody beats my Sarah Jane. Her and Tom Baker are just the best. They're tops. Definitely my favorite companion of all time, my favorite TARDIS team of all time. So, yeah, this is my top 10 list of favorite companions with a few honorable mentions. In the comments down below, tell me what you think, what you agree with on my list, what you disagree with on my list. Write me down your top 10. Tell me why you feel the way you do. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. Check out my main channel, Prowl171, PROWL1701, where I talk about all things Star Wars, and most importantly, stay safe, and thank you for watching.